Tonight, a profound sense of unease stretches across the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Communities from the rugged coastlines of Alaska to the sun-drenched shores of Hawaii and across to the bustling metropolises of Japan are on high alert. A powerful and terrifying force of nature has been unleashed. An enormous earthquake, registering a staggering 8.8 on the magnitude scale, has violently shaken the seabed off Russia's remote Kamchatka Peninsula. This is not just another tremor, it is a globally significant seismic event, one of the most powerful recorded in over a decade. The initial shock is over, but the danger is just beginning to travel silently and swiftly across the water. This event has triggered a cascade of warnings, a digital siren wailing across nations and time zones. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, along with national agencies, has issued urgent alerts. The primary threat now is a tsunami, a series of powerful ocean waves generated by the immense displacement of the sea floor. These are not the waves surfers dream of. They are destructive, fast-moving walls of water, capable of inundating entire coastal communities, erasing landmarks, and most tragically, claiming lives. The world is now watching, and for millions, the next few hours will be critical. The scale of this earthquake is difficult to comprehend. At magnitude 8.8, it is tied as the sixth largest earthquake ever recorded since we began keeping such records. The cataclysmic event struck with terrifying force on Wednesday, July 30th, 2025 local time. The United States Geological Survey reported the precise moment of rupture at 11:24 in the morning in Kamchatka. The epicenter was located in the Pacific Ocean, approximately 74 miles southeast of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, a major city on the peninsula. Initially estimated at a magnitude of 8.0, scientists quickly upgraded the quake's strength to a colossal 8.8. It occurred at a relatively shallow depth of about 20.7 kilometers, which is a critical factor. Shallow earthquakes like this one are far more efficient at transferring their immense energy to the water above. This was not a distant, gentle rumble. It was a violent and prolonged shaking that was felt across Russia's Far East. In cities like Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, the ground swayed and lurched, sending residents fleeing from their homes and workplaces in panic. This event stands as the most powerful earthquake to strike our planet since the devastating 9.0 magnitude quake that hit Japan in 2011, a tragedy that remains a harrowing benchmark for seismic disasters. The term megathrust earthquake is used by scientists to describe an event of this type. It happens when one of the Earth's massive tectonic plates suddenly slips or thrusts beneath another. In this case, the Pacific Plate is grinding its way under the Okhotsk Plate. For centuries, stress had been building along this fault line, and on this day it was released in a single catastrophic moment. The seabed itself was likely deformed, pushed upwards by several meters over a vast area, displacing a colossal volume of seawater and setting the tsunami in motion. The immediate aftermath on land was one of chaos and uncertainty. Communication lines were strained, and the full picture of the damage was slow to emerge from the remote and sparsely populated region. The earthquake's violent rupture of the seafloor sent a powerful signal not just through the Earth's crust, but also to a network of seismic sensors and deep ocean buoys. Within minutes, this data was processed, and the stark reality became clear. A Pacific-wide tsunami was a grave possibility. The Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, based in Hawaii, issued its first bulletins, and a wave of alerts began to spread across the globe. Tsunami warnings were immediately issued for the coastal areas of Russia and Japan, the two nations closest to the epicenter, as well as for parts of Alaska and the entire state of Hawaii. In Japan, the alerts were broadcast with extreme urgency. The Japan Meteorological Agency warned that tsunami waves of up to 3 meters, or about 10 feet, were expected to strike the northern coastlines, particularly the island of Hokkaido. Public broadcaster NHK interrupted its regular programming, its screen filled with maps and stark red warnings as evacuation orders were issued for vulnerable areas. The memory of the 2011 tsunami is deeply ingrained in the nation's psyche, and there was no hesitation. Footage from news outlets showed factory workers and residents in coastal towns moving calmly but quickly to designated high ground, a testament to years of drills and public education. Across the Pacific and the United States, the warnings were equally dire. In Hawaii, sirens blared across the islands, a chilling sound that signals imminent danger. Oahu's Department of Emergency Management issued a stark warning stating that destructive tsunami waves were expected and urging people in low-lying coastal zones to evacuate immediately. The estimated arrival time for the first wave was calculated with grim precision, 7:17 in the evening local time. The state of Alaska also faced a direct threat, with warnings covering parts of the Aleutian Islands and other coastal communities. The threat did not stop there. Tsunami advisories and watches were issued for a vast arc of countries. In the immediate vicinity of the earthquake, the effects were swift and severe. The Russian city of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, home to over 180,000 people, bore the brunt of the violent shaking. The earthquake, described by the regional governor as the strongest in decades, sent terrified residents spilling into the streets. Initial reports from the ground painted a picture of widespread, though not catastrophic, structural damage, with visible cracks scarring the facades of apartment blocks and office buildings. The most immediate and dangerous threat to the coastal areas was the tsunami. It did not take long to arrive. On the Kamchatka coast, powerful waves reaching up to 4 meters, or about 13 feet, were recorded crashing ashore. In the town of Severokurilsk, located in the Kuril Islands chain to the south of the epicenter, the tsunami inundated coastal areas. Videos shared by residents on social media showed seawater flooding into streets and swamping the ground floors of buildings near the harbor. Emergency crews were immediately dispatched to evacuate low-lying areas and assess the damage, a difficult task in a region known for its rugged and remote terrain. Amid the chaos, the human cost began to emerge. While thankfully no widespread fatalities were immediately reported, the event was not without its injuries. Russia's TASS state news agency quoted the regional health minister Oleg Melnikov, who confirmed that several people had sought medical help. The injuries were varied, resulting from the panic and the quake itself. Some people were hurt as they rushed outside. One person reportedly jumped from a window in fear, and a woman was injured by falling debris inside the city's new airport terminal. He added that all the patients were in satisfactory condition, a small mercy amid the widespread disruption. The response from local authorities was swift. Kamchatka's governor, Vladimir Solodov, used the Telegram messaging app to communicate directly with the public, providing updates and reassurance. His characterization of the quake as the strongest in decades underscored the severity of the situation. Evacuation centers were established for those whose homes were damaged or located in the tsunami inundation zones. In the face of nature's fury, the resilience and courage of the first responders and the local community were on full display, a beacon of hope in a landscape of uncertainty. Warning millions of people of a coming tsunami is a great scientific achievement. It's a race against time that begins when an earthquake occurs. The system uses seismographs to detect seismic waves. Scientists determine the earthquake's location, depth, and magnitude. Generally, an earthquake must be at least a magnitude 7.5 and occur at a shallow depth beneath the ocean to generate a significant tsunami. The warning system involves buoys called dart buoys. Each dart station consists of a pressure recorder anchored to the seafloor and a buoy on the surface. The bottom pressure recorder can detect minute changes in the height of the water column above it. The seismic data tells scientists that a tsunami is possible. The dart buoy data confirms that a tsunami has actually been generated. The warning centers use computer models to predict the tsunami's arrival time and potential coastal impact. This information is then disseminated to government agencies, emergency managers, and the media. The Kamchatka Peninsula sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a 25,000-mile-long horseshoe-shaped path. Here, most of the world's earthquakes and volcanic eruptions occur, defined by massive tectonic plates in constant collision. Earth's plates float on a semi-molten mantle, constantly pushing and grinding. The Pacific plate subducts beneath the Okhotsk plate in a particularly active zone. Plates lock, building stress. A sudden slip releases energy as an earthquake. The overriding plate can snap upwards, displacing water and generating a tsunami. This geological turmoil has shaped Kamchatka, a land of volcanoes and frequent tremors. The Ring of Fire is a fundamental feature of our living planet. The Kamchatka region and the Kuril Islands have a long history of great earthquakes and devastating tsunamis. This area is one of the world's primary seismic hotspots. In 1952, A massive magnitude 9.0 earthquake occurred off the coast of Kamchatka. That quake generated a catastrophic Pacific-wide tsunami, devastating the town of Severokurilsk. The event resulted in an estimated 2,300 deaths and served as a major catalyst for the development of tsunami warning systems. Another major historical event was the Great Kamchatka Earthquake of 1737. Scientists estimate its magnitude at around 9.3. It generated a colossal tsunami that devastated the Pacific coast. These historical events demonstrate that the 8.8 magnitude event is consistent with the geologic potential of this incredibly active subduction zone. In the hours following the quake, a massive human response effort swung into motion, spanning the entire Pacific. This complex choreography involves scientists, emergency managers, governments, and ordinary citizens. The first priority is always the preservation of life. In Hawaii, the activation of the tsunami warning sirens triggered a well-rehearsed evacuation plan. In Japan, residents calmly moving to evacuation points demonstrated a culture of preparedness that has been built over generations. News organizations provided continuous coverage. Social media became a vital tool for both officials and the public. Beyond the immediate emergency response, the event triggers a wave of global solidarity. Offers of assistance and messages of support pour in from around the world. Every household should have an emergency plan. Know your local tsunami evacuation routes. If you are near the coast and you feel a very strong earthquake that makes it difficult to stand, that is your signal to immediately move to high ground. The Pacific is a place of immense beauty and power. By understanding the risks, preparing for them, and heeding the warnings, we can coexist with that power and keep our communities safe.